a topic that's become very well developed since the time of Rogers, which is the topic of embodied cognition. It's become increasingly clear the way the brain sets itself up with the body is the way that we discussed when we were talking about Piaget. It's that the mind is built from motor actions up, and the concepts that the mind uses aren't abstract categories that describe reality. They're more like tools that allow us to do things in the world. And so they're predicated, their validity is predicated on the fact that we have a body. In the Piagetian mode of development, you start to learn how to move, and then those movements are chained in ever more complex sequences, and those sequences start to become representable abstractly, so which is sort of your knowledge as represented at the highest level of verbal abstraction. The weird thing about having an intelligence that's dissociable, which means that you can think up things without acting them out, is that you can also formulate self-representations and ideas that aren't fully integrated with the manner in which you actually act.
Gatsby's real name was James Gatz. His parents were dirt poor farmers from North Dakota, but he never accepted them as his parents at all. In his own imagination, he was a son of God, destined for future glory.
And Rogers would consider that, he has a technical term for it. It's a form of internal disharmony, non-congruence. You're not a singular entity at all the multiple levels at which you exist.
Old sport!
Why not let her alone, old sport?
That's a great expression of yours, isn't it?
What is?
Old sport. Where'd you pick it up?
And that can cause conflict. So
You shut up! Shut up!
there are thinkers like Solzhenitsyn who've ascribed the worst catastrophes of the 20th century to exactly that kind of inauthenticity, which is the development of a coherent and rational ideology.
My life, old sport, my life. My life has got to be like this.
And then the attempt to force that on the world and on people, despite the fact that the rational formulation and the reality of the people and the world have very little in common.
Jay, you can't repeat the past.
Now, how would you detect your own inauthenticity or your own incongruence? Now, you know sometimes when you're conversing with people, you can say something that embarrasses yourself. Now, Nietzsche said, for example, everyone has perjured themselves at least once in the attempt to maintain their good name. Something like that. It's not an exact quote, but I've got the gist of it right. So,
some very wealthy people from the Middle West. Sadly, all of them are dead now. I was brought up in America, but educated at Oxford because all my ancestors have been educated there for many years. You see, it's a family tradition.
The way he spoke, no wonder people thought he was lying.
After
my sense has been that you can tell when you're saying something that's not authentic by feeling out whether or not it makes you weak or strong.